Hello and welcome to our official YouTube channel of ExactCampus.com. Today we will go through the interesting story of our solar system. Are you ready to dive into details? Let's begin then. A long time ago, about 4.6 billion years ago, there was no sun, no Earth, and no planets. All that existed was a huge cloud of gas and dust, floating in the vast emptiness of space. This is where our story begins, and it's about how everything in our solar system came to be: planets, moons, the sun, and even Earth itself. Let's see how the solar system was born. Imagine a big, fluffy cloud floating in space. But this cloud wasn't just any cloud, it was made up of tiny bits of dust and gas. Some scientists call it a solar nebula. One day, something special happened. A big star exploded far away, and the shockwave from that explosion hit the cloud of dust. This caused the cloud to start spinning and collapsing in on itself, almost like a ballerina spinning faster and faster as she pulls her arms in. As the cloud spun, it began to flatten out into a disk. In the middle of this spinning disk, the dust and gas started to gather together, forming a big ball. Over time, the ball got hotter and hotter, and eventually, it became our sun, the shining star at the center of the solar system. But the sun didn't do all this alone. The rest of the disk was still full of dust and gas, and some of it began to stick together, forming clumps. These clumps grew bigger and bigger, crashing into each other and sticking together to form what we call planets. This process is called accretion. Now let's see more about the sun and the birth of the planets. After the sun was born, something amazing happened. The sun's light and wind started to blow away the leftover gas and dust. This cleared the space around it, and that's when the planets really began to take shape. Closer to the sun, where it was really hot, only the rocky materials could stick together to form small, hard planets. These became the inner planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. These planets are all made of rock and metal, which is why they are called terrestrial planets. Farther from the sun, where it was much colder, the planets were able to form from ice and gas. These became the outer planets: Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. These planets are much bigger and are made mostly of gas and ice. We call them gas giants and ice giants. Imagine what happened after the planets were born. Let's see now. After the planets had formed, the solar system was still a very busy place. There were leftover bits of rock and ice floating around. Some of these bits became moons, which are like little worlds that circle the planets. Some moons, like the moon of Earth, are very small, while others, like Ganymede, one of Jupiter's moons, are bigger than Mercury. At the same time, there were asteroids, rocky chunks of debris left over from the formation of the planets. Most of them live in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, where they keep circling the sun. Then there are comets. These are like dirty snowballs, made of ice and dust. When they get close to the sun, the heat makes them release gas and dust, forming long, glowing tails. Comets come from the outer parts of the solar system, where it's super cold, like the Kuiper belt and the Oort cloud. Now that we know how everything was formed, let's take a closer look at the planets that make up our solar system. Each planet is special in its own way. Mercury. Mercury is the smallest planet and the closest to the sun. It has no atmosphere, so its surface gets super hot during the day and freezing cold at night. Venus. Venus is similar in size to Earth, but it has a thick atmosphere that traps heat. It's so hot that the surface can melt lead. Venus is often called Earth's sister planet, but it's not a place where life could exist. Earth. Earth is the third planet from the Sun, and it's the only one we know of that has life. It has a breathable atmosphere, water in oceans, and the right temperature to support all kinds of living things. Mars. Mars is the red planet, and it's the fourth from the Sun. Scientists think it used to have water, and there are signs that it might have supported life in the past. Today, it's cold and dry, with big deserts and mountains. Jupiter. Jupiter is the biggest planet in the solar system. It's a gas giant, which means it's made mostly of gas like hydrogen and helium. Jupiter has a huge storm called the Great Red Spot, which has been raging for hundreds of years. Saturn. Saturn is famous for its beautiful rings, which are made of ice and rock. Like Jupiter, it's a gas giant, but Saturn is a little less dense, which means it could float in water if we could find a big enough ocean. Uranus. Uranus is an ice giant, and it spins on its side, unlike any other planet. It has a blue-green color because of the methane in its atmosphere. Neptune. Neptune is the farthest planet from the Sun, and it's another ice giant. It has the strongest winds of any planet in the solar system, making it a very wild place. Ever wondered what will be the future of our solar system? Let's check that out. Even though the solar system has been around for billions of years, it's still changing. The Sun is slowly getting hotter and brighter, and in about 5 billion years, it will expand into a red giant, becoming so large that it will swallow the inner planets, Mercury, Venus, and Earth. But don't worry. Long before that happens, the Earth will change in many ways. The Sun's heat will eventually make life impossible here, but that's billions of years away. For now, we can enjoy learning about our solar system, exploring it with space missions, and maybe even living on other planets one day. So, the next time you look up at the stars, remember that our solar system is just one of many in the vast universe. It was born from a swirling cloud of gas and dust, shaped by the forces of nature, and continues to evolve in ways we are only beginning to understand. Who knows? Maybe one day, you'll be the one to discover something new about our solar system, or even travel to one of its planets. The adventure of learning about space has only just begun. For more insights and these type of educational content, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and visit our website at exactcampus.com. See you in the next video. Until then, keep learning and exploring. Take care.